Welcome to Startup Success, the podcast for startup founders and investors. Here you'll find stories of success from others in the trenches as they work to scale some of the fastest growing startups in the world. Stories that will help you in your own journey. Startup Success starts now.
Thanks again for being here. I think it would be helpful for listeners if we set the stage, and if you wouldn't mind sharing your past experiences, your background with us, and what led to the founding of Perle.
Yeah, absolutely. I started my career as an offshore oil driller and had a problem while working on the rig, taught myself how to code, built a product, got acquired, became a software guy a little over 20 years ago. And it's just been a sequence of chasing problems. It's been very, very straightforward. It's always been, I have a problem, I need to solve it, let's figure out how to solve it. Or I have a problem, I don't like what I'm doing, I need to find a way to make it go away and automate it. So let's build something to do that.
Impressive. So you must have felt this entrepreneurial drive back when you said you started on an oil rig?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it entrepreneur. Wouldn't know if I call it entrepreneurial. I'd call it basically out of a strong desire to not do the work I have to do, but I need to do. So, but I have to do it. So you got to find an easy way to do it.
Okay, that's fair. You're okay. That they say founders that solve a problem the closest to them do the best. So you're onto something, I think.
I hope so.
Yes. So how many companies have you been involved in prior to Perle?
Let's see. I was at Oracle, McKinsey, Amazon, Scale, and then Perle.
Wow, great. Okay, good experience. So tell us about Perle and the problem you're trying to solve.
Yeah, the problem we're trying to solve is teaching current AI models very nuanced niche skills. The reality is the models that exist today, they are great at generic problems or generic understanding of language or generic medicine and so on and so forth. And the more specific the problem gets, the more difficult and the more that the model struggles to actually respond accurately. So in medical niche use cases, for example, models will make more mistakes than if you ask it generic stuff of, oh, I have a headache, should I take Advil or Tylenol, right? But the more specific it gets, the more trouble it has, and the more error prone it has. And that is understandable because of how we train the models. And initially how we trained them was we give it a lot of information. And of course, there was a lot more to it than that, but I'm simplifying. And the models are now good at something, are good at that general, and they can understand, they can converse.
Got it. So can you share, was this problem close to you? And that's what motivated you?
Yeah, it was a problem that I was working on while I was at Amazon and get models to work initially. And then it was a problem that we worked at very closely at Scale, because obviously we did a lot of data for the frontier models. And after I left Scale, I took a little break and I was thinking, I thought I took a little bit of time actually thinking about what am I going to do next? And almost every problem I was doing discovery on, it came back to, do you have good data or not? Like that was one of the massive bottlenecks, and it was a consistent bottleneck. So that's why I built Perle, to actually solve that bottleneck of the very, very niche, call it boutique firm for data.
Got it. I can see, that is where just in the work I've done with AI, that is where it falls down. You're right. When you get specific, when you need that kind of help. So can you share with us like a use case right now that you have?
Yeah, absolutely. We do work across a lot of healthcare, so medicine, dentistry, pharmacology. We do some scientific or STEM fields like chemistry, biology, etc. And we also do a lot of linguistics and culture. So think about linguistics. Arabic, for example. Arabic is technically, when you look at drop downs and select your language, it's one language. Arabic is not one language.
Right.
There's standard Arabic and how it's written, but no one actually speaks with that. You only hear that on the news. right?
Right.
And then Arabic could technically be broken down into 22 different languages where someone speaking one language can't understand the person speaking the other language. Arabic is very, very broad and very forgiving, and the same object or the same thing can have multiple words. So you can actually construct sentences using completely different set of words to the
Okay.
point that someone from another region wouldn't understand what you're saying. So
Wow.
that context switching, obviously, also because when you're Arabic speaking, you also inject a lot of other words from other languages, especially English and French,
Okay.
and some Turkish as well. And you inject them, and that code switching is very confusing for models. So a lot of what we're working on right now is how do we actually make models capable of understanding, first of all, which dialect is being engaged on.
Okay.
There could be multiple dialects in the same conversation, by the way. So I speak an Egyptian variant of Arabic. There are multiple Egyptian variants. I speak,
Okay.
but I can understand someone who's speaking let's say, a Beirut Lebanese dialect.
Got it.
They're
Okay.
speaking in their Lebanese, and I'm speaking to my Egyptian, and we understand each other.
Okay.
But these are two languages. These are two
Right.
different languages.
Right.
So
Okay.
you need to be able to tell which one is which for every word in the conversation, and then you need to be able to understand what is going on with the overall conversation. It gets very dicey because some words actually have very, very different meanings and could be very different things. And some of them are used normally in day-to-day conversation in some places and are very inappropriate in other places.
Ah, oh, so this is a perfect example of where you would need AI to get the all these little different, you know, nuances and they're not typically going to do that. That's a great example.
Yeah, imagine having to do a note taker or having to build a note taker
Right.
that actually handles that.
Yes, yes, exactly. So how long has Pearl, like when did you found Pearl? When did you start it?
We officially incorporated in 2024.
Okay.
We started proper development in early 2025 and we launched in Q4 2025.
Okay, congrats. So much has changed in the AI landscape just in that short time. How is that impacting like what you're doing with Pearl?
So it's it's amazing, right? Because the rate
Yeah,
of development is just significantly faster and it just keeps accelerating. So
right.
it's on a very, very steep curve and it keeps getting steeper. I think that has worked well in our favor because the need for that specialized knowledge, that specialized skill set has only accelerated. And this was a question that we got a lot very early on, and which is, well, AI keeps getting better. Why would the need for what you're doing not go away? And
Right.
in my mind, the hypothesis was this is not how it works. The moment you unlock new technology, every single thing that you unlock, 10 new problems emerge. Like think about the problems we're solving today with global logistics because we invented the internal combustion engine.
Right,
We
right.
did
Good
not have
point.
those problems when it was horses and carriages,
Right, right. Good point.
right?
Yes.
And then airplanes, oh, well, fantastic.
Yes.
Then we have different problems,
Right,
right?
right,
so,
right.
so technology unlocks deeper, more sophisticated problems. And I think the short answer is it serves us well because we are in the more niche, sophisticated boutique zone.
Right.
So the more this accelerates, the more the need for our stuff comes in.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. I thank you for explaining that because, I think that's whatever, the conversation right now around AI has shifted, right? That things are developing so much that many startups are no longer relevant that were in the space because of the developments. But the way you explained where Pearl sits in the landscape, it makes a lot of sense that you will just continue to bring kind of that edge to what you're doing.
Yeah. Yep.
That's exciting. So, in terms of that, so where are you in the fundraising journey with Pearl? Because a lot of the founders listening who are, working in an AI startup space, this is where they struggle. And if you wouldn't mind kind of sharing your experience, I think it would be helpful.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Right, right.
So I believe that there are four things that you should never let go of as a founder. Hiring people, you till this today, I have to interview everyone who joins.
Oh,
And like I can't let that go. Two, of course,
okay.
product.
Right.
What are we launching out there in the market? Like you cannot let that go. Three is you need to maintain a very close customer, so you need to maintain a very very close eye and relationship with the customers. And four, you need to fundraise. No one's going to do it for you. No one's going to. You cannot. It's very difficult. A lot of fundraising is about relaying the spirit of the company to the investor.
Right.
And who better to relay that spirit? It's not just about dumping fact. It's about relaying the spirit of the company. And who better to do that than the founder? So a few lessons that I learned from that is raise when you can. It's about getting the right partners in. So don't just take the highest valuation for, just bring in the right money. Because whatever you get, even if you get like, let's say you're raising at 100 mil and you get a valuation from someone else at 110, if the people offering you the 100 are a better partner, go with them. Because the next raise is going to be at a billion. The 100 to 110 actually becomes very irrelevant. If you're still raising a pre-seed or a seed at whatever, 10, 20, 30 million valuation, an extra 3, 4, 5 mil isn't going to make that much of a difference. Versus having the right partner who could either help you grow or get in the way. I've been very lucky with my investors where they are very helpful. But I've seen other stories where it's where people just don't get along as well.
Right, right. That's a great piece of advice. So, what do you look for in a partnership with your investors? Like, what are the certain things you're looking for?
So investors will try to help. They will tell you about the things that they can offer. A couple of things that are very important. First of all, just verify that they actually can, what they are offering is actually helpful for you. So
Okay.
let's say they can help you hiring sales and ops people, but
Right,
your product just needs good engineers that are very difficult to find. No one's going to help you find those engineers. Right?
right, right.
You just got to go find them, right? So yes, they want to help. They can help in other areas, but it's not necessarily going to be helpful for you. So just verify that and understand that. Go in with eyes open. And frankly, the second thing is work with people you like. Work with people you like, trust, and respect. Build a relationship with the GP, not just the associates or the other partners, but build a relationship with the GP.
That's good advice. I've heard that communication is key in doing that. Do you keep strong lines of communication open with your investors then?
So yes, and I do it in a couple of ways. So from the beginning, I borrowed a lot of this from McKinsey, by the way.
Oh, okay.
McKinsey. You learn from day one that you have to be over communicative with your team, but there's also a balance because obviously with McKinsey, the way I ran my teams is that we had a check-in and a check-out every day, and we had a full-blown check-out at the end of every week. That might be a little too much for investors. So
Okay.
doing a bit of back. I like going in with the whole team hand holding, right?
Yes, yes.
With investors, the way I do it is I publish a quarterly update
Okay.
with a TLDR for those who don't want to read something long, and then a full-blown detail about all the key areas that we have. It's a consistent format, so you can literally read it quarter to quarter, and it literally maps out with just the updates.
Ah, that's so smart. Your investors must love and appreciate that.
I think they do. I think they do.
Yes.
I think they do. And then I have a few other investors who I have regular check-ins with. Yeah, but no pressure on anyone. Not on me, not on them. There are just some folks that we're engaging regularly on customer connections or something else, and so on and so forth. So we just have regular check-ins. Yeah, that's for the communication.
I like that. I appreciate you sharing that because we have investors on the show who talk about they hate when founders go dark, right? And they have all these resources that they want founders to leverage and they don't. And then they hear about a problem and it's too late and they could have helped. And they like that communication. And it sounds like you're achieving that and it's working for you.
Yeah, and and I mean, the reality is, from the outside, it might look like it's a linear growth line. It is not. I promise you, it is not. I know a lot of other founders, and it is not. It is 3 steps forward, 12 steps back, 300 steps forward, 15 back, then 12 back, and then 16
Yeah.
back, and then
Right.
50 ahead, and it's just all over the place.
Yes.
Someone was asking me how are you doing, and I told them I just had the best and the worst day in my life in the last 3 hours, right? And
Wow. Yeah, I think that sums up the life of a founder pretty well.
so the communication, tying it back to the communication with the VCs, like some VCs are like you're going to work with people who actually are interested in your problem. They want to be invested and so on and so forth. I have a couple of those who we talk weekly, right? And talk about everything. And then others, I reach out when I need something, and I let them know exactly what's my standing list of asks, and they reach out when they have opportunities.
Ah,
So obviously that's a very different. Like obviously these folks don't know about. Oh crap! I had a customer delay.
right.
It's going to be delayed, and I don't have the money in the bank now, so I'm worried. Maybe it's going to go away.
Right.
It starts spiraling, so they don't know about
Right.
any of it, right? So just the communication. Not communication is for the other person. You cannot just use one style or one mode or one frequency of communication for everyone. The quarterly is the baseline, and then you adjust or adapt that based on the person you're dealing with.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's excellent advice for those listening. A, not to just take the first check, but to think about the partnership and the investor and the relationship. And then what you're doing to build that relationship and nurture it is so important. I know everybody listening will want to hear your thoughts just on AI and the landscape in general, just because you're in the midst of it. So I know it's always changing, but how are you feeling about things right now?
I'm overall incredibly optimistic, like unbelievably optimistic. I think the challenge is that we have a lot of social media and we have a lot of media, and it's about capturing attention and clicks and all of that. So whenever there's anything that could be remotely juicy news, it just goes, and the media cycle is obsessed with it, and people post and repost and add their spins to it and so on and so forth. You will hear a lot about, oh, this is the next thing, this is going to change the world forever. It's not, right? Like you heard about this about drag, you heard about
Yes.
GPT 3.5, like
Yes.
fine, like it's iteration. Like you
Right.
keep hearing the next big thing, the massive breakthrough, all of that stuff. And yes, these are good improvements, and they're heading in the right direction. But it's not something that's coming out of the blue.
Good clarification for people to remember that.
It's actually a lot smoother than it looks like. If you look at it, it looks like it's just continuously.
Yes.
It's not. It's much smoother. It's steady pace of development. It's faster than previous cycles because mainly because we can use AI to accelerate a lot of the things that were not core to the problem, but we had to do them to get to solve the problem, like writing code. I can write code now much faster.
Yes.
But that's the reason for acceleration. It's not that AI is growing its own consciousness and now it has three heads and it's walking in their virtual fleet of humanity. That's not what's happening. As far as I know, maybe
Yeah.
someone's already building that. As far as I know, the machines are not rising yet. So, so, so yeah, very optimistic. I think it's gonna cause a bit of disruption. It obviously will. But I think it's going to create a lot more efficiency. Our economy relies on efficiency gains
Yes.
to be able to sustain itself. Otherwise, we collapse, and that's how
Yes.
we can actually command multiples on the market like we do.
Right.
Otherwise, without efficiency gains, we're not going to be able to do that, right? We always were betting on the future, and in the future, we're going to be able to do this. AI is the next iteration that allows us to do that, so that's fantastic. There's going to be some losses, of course. There's going to be some job losses and so on in the process. But again, just like the internal combustion engine, right? People
Right.
who are carrying people, the taxis, right, with the horse and
Yes.
carriage, obviously they suffered. Like the saddle industry suffered, right?
Right.
The horse industry suffered, but almost every other industry actually had significant gains. And
Right.
ultimately, the people who handled the horses and the saddles and the horseshoes and all that in the stables, they evolved into something else.
Absolutely.
There's
Yeah.
going to be a
You're
little bit of gain, but the gain I think is significantly higher.
good. That's great to hear. Is there anything that you're worried about?
There are, and this is just based on my own personal stance. I think just like with any other technology, there will be good actors and there will be not so very good actors. I think a lot of not so great behavior is going to become easier, and just like a lot more people who never used to code or don't know how to code are able to build products today with
Yes.
very little coding knowledge. So the same way, some people who like scams are going to get more sophisticated. I think security and online security is going to get a little dicey for a while. We're going to make massive mistakes before we learn and adapt to the new reality. I think there are going to be a lot of new. I think there are going to be a lot of new tactics that not everyone necessarily will approve of. So I think we're going to see smarter advertising for vices, for example. So there is going to be some negative impact out there. There are also going to be a lot of AI generated slop, which obviously is not very good for our brains, and especially
Right.
our generation. It's not good, right?
No.
Like, imagine the volume of social media, useless social media posts that were there before Gen AI became so prevalent, and imagine now, like it's just don't.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think you're spot on that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the last thing, which is going to take some time to adapt to, is AI slop in work. So I've seen this already a few times. And we're like, we have something to do, and someone just goes to AI and says, "Hey, do this for me," and they take the output and just dump it. I think it's going to take some time to go through that, because you read the first paragraph or so, and it looks relevant, and then you read the whole thing. I was like, "This is absolute garbage. This is nonsense.
Yes.
Doesn't mean anything." I think it's going to take a while to get people to adjust to what AI really is. It's not there to do your job. It's there to help you be better and faster at your job.
Absolutely.
If your job
Yes.
is you don't have a job.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Like you're here.
Really, yeah, really well said. And I actually even like how you refer to it as AI slop, because I've had people send me case studies and proposals, and you're right. The first paragraph is great, and then it's like, great. This is just yeah. And then I think the other thing that people are starting to talk about is just like brain health, right? Like our brain health with all that's out there and scams and things. So
Yeah.
super interesting. You have a really good pulse on AI. We always wrap up the show with just general advice you can share to the founders listening. You're a very successful founder. You're right in the crux of, excitement with the AI landscape. For those listening, any words of wisdom you can share with them?
Don't do it. It's a trap.
This goes back to you had your worst and your best day in the past 3 hours. I get it. Yeah.
But if you have to do it,
Yes.
if you absolutely decide that you hate it, but there's nothing else you'd rather be doing, or you love it. I don't know. Maybe something's wrong with you, but be disciplined about taking care of yourself.
That's good.
Go to the gym, work out, hike, whatever you do, just physically do that. Take care of yourself mentally. Take some time to read about things outside and interact and intellectual research and have a side project. They don't have to take that much, but read, interact, do something outside of it. And third, take care of yourself spiritually. Like take some time and reflect, pray, observe, be thankful. Whatever it is you do, it doesn't matter. But spiritually take yourself. It doesn't necessarily have to be faith in a specific religion, but just
Yeah.
spiritually take care of yourself. And then last but not least, remember that it is a very lonely job, but you don't have to be alone. There are other people out there who understand. There are other founders. Create a community around you. no one survives on their own.
Wow, really, that's great advice. I love that. I think the founder gets lost a lot in these startups, so I appreciate you sharing that. I know that will help some people listening. Where can we go to learn more about Pearl and what you're up to?
Please, Perle.ai. The website isn't necessarily the best, but it has good information. And feel free to reach out to me. Reach out to me over LinkedIn or email. I'm always on.
Thank you.
First of all, except when I'm working out.
Yeah, right. Well, it was a really fascinating conversation. I appreciate everything you shared. Thanks for being here today. I'm excited to see, where Pearl takes it.
That's great. Thank you so much, Kate.
Thank you.